Thank you, everybody, and welcome. I'm delighted to see you all. So welcome, good morning to you who are in the US, good evening to you in Asia, and good afternoon to everybody in Europe. My name is Anne Ravanona, and I'm founder and CEO of Global InvestHer. And today I want to help you learn how you can make more money by investing in women entrepreneurs. How can you become an InvestHer? So I'm going to get ready to show I have some messages to share with you. So here we go. So this is all about how you can become an investor. And in order to do that, I'm going to share with you what is an investor and who we are. So a little bit, first of all, about Global InvestHer. So we are the go-to platform for women entrepreneurs to learn about funding. We have a global community. We have a fantastic directory of female founders. So if you're looking to invest in them, you just go and check us out. But really, we are the funding tribe where women entrepreneurs come to learn about funding. So why did I create Global InvestHer in 2013? Well, basically, I went to an event in London organized by Cherie Blair, Prime Minister Blair's former Prime Minister Blair's wife. And when I was at the event, there was a woman entrepreneur speaking. I put up my hand in the event and I asked her, I said, what was your biggest challenge? And she said to me, finding money. And I said, is it harder for women to find funding? And it got me curious. So I started to read the research. And when I read the research, I discovered that there was a huge funding gap, a huge difference between the amount of money raised between men and women. And I wanted to help fix that. And so I realized as well, I have a 19-year-old daughter now and a 16-year-old son. And if both of them go to get funding today, my son is 60% more likely to get funded just because of his gender. He doesn't even have to be good at what he does, although he is. So I decided I want to help fix that. And that's why I created Global InvestHer. And our mission is to help get 1 million women entrepreneurs funded by 2030. And we're aligning with the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, because I really fundamentally believe that women entrepreneurs are the greatest untapped resource in the world. When we invest in more female founders, we can actually create more value. And I'm going to show you now through the research. It's not just my idea. This is actually research backed. So our vision is to build this virtuous circle. So where we help those women entrepreneurs who are looking for funding, if you see at the top of the circle here, they get funded, they build businesses, they become business angels themselves. So we get more women to become angel investors, to become venture capitalists, but we also change the perceptions around women entrepreneurs, around women investors. And we invite and encourage more men to invest in fantastic women entrepreneurs and to hire and bring in women investors into their funds. So a little bit about me. Why should you listen to me? So I am the founder of Global InvestHer, and I did a TEDx talk in 2015 about this topic. And what was super interesting was, the statistics have changed. So I have a career, 25 years career in global business development. And at the time I've been pitching, winning multi-million dollar deals. But more importantly, I've been dedicating my life for the past 8 years to helping female founders. And I speak internationally at tech conferences like Arctic15. I'm also a consultant to big corporates who need to increase gender diversity or who want to support more women entrepreneurs through their own initiatives. And I partner directly with investors and with the general public. So all of that says, what exactly do you do, Anna? What's an InvestHer? Well, what we do is we have built this global movement called the 1 Million InvestHers to help gather momentum towards funding female founders. And I'm going to tell you more about that. But some of the things that we do in order to make that happen is we have a virtual event series. So we'll be starting that in November this year, which is called Boost Her Biz. And we're doing the very first edition for Black female founders because I decided I want to do more than just do a statement on Black Lives Matters. I want to help them. So we have events. We have the first global directory of businesses founded by women. So if you check out directory.globalinvesther.com, you can actually go and find these incredible companies. There's no longer this excuse to say, where are the women entrepreneurs? You're going to find them from the earliest startups to the unicorns, those who have actually done an IPO and have raised hundreds of millions of dollars. So I want everybody to see the worth, what we're worth and who we are. We also, as you can see on the left, I do a lot of advocacy. That's the speaking. We have a fantastic InvestHer community for those women entrepreneurs who want to come together and learn about funding. We do online education, and we have lots of other things, but you can check that on the website. So coming back to the why, the thing is, the hard truth is that funding and raising money for startups is harder for women entrepreneurs. Now, what does that mean? Today, only 2.8% of venture capital goes to female-only founded companies. 2.8%. If we talk about mixed founded companies, so with male and female founders, you're going to see that goes up a little bit. But 2.8% out of the total. And the key thing is that that hasn't changed in the last 30 years. So, we are absolutely onto something here. Like, something has got to change. We are leaving money on the table. And that's why I'm calling out to you investors who are here at Arctic15 and beyond. This is a huge arbitrage opportunity for you, because only 2.8% of venture capital and funding is going towards those female-only founded firms, or 11% to mixed teams. There's a huge opportunity that people are not seeing, and I want to help you to see that. And this figure hasn't changed in the past 30 years. And what is really crazy is the World Economic Forum have said that if we don't do anything, if we just keep doing things the way we are now, if we change nothing, it's going to take over 250 years for women to get to gender equality in the economy. 250 years. Now, when I did my TEDx talk in 2015, that figure was 80 years. So we have gone so much backwards because of, what's happening in politics around the world. So something has got to change. And I want to help share with you. So why should you listen to me? And what is the size of this opportunity? And I know this is going to resonate with those investors in the audience, because that's a key thing as to why you invest. Well, Boston Consulting Group recently shared a piece of research last year where they said that if we invest in more women entrepreneurs, we could add $5 trillion to the global economy. $5 trillion. Imagine that. And not only that, 6% to global GDP. Now, that was before COVID-19, and I actually think that's going to be higher moving forward. So my call to action to you is to say urgently, we cannot wait. It's time for us to take action. And that's why we've created 1 Million InvestHer. So let me tell you a bit more about this. I told you earlier on that there's this funding gap, the gap between the amounts of money raised between men and women entrepreneurs around the world. And this is a statistic from the International Finance Corporation. And they now estimate that funding gap, all types of funding included, not just venture capital, that the gap between the amount of money raised by men and women is $1.7 trillion. So, okay, we're a $5 trillion opportunity, but we're getting 1.7 trillion less of funding. So how does that make economic sense, you'd say? And let's look at the figures. Here are the figures in more stark reality of what I shared with you. As you can see, the female only, that was in 2019, we were getting 2.8% of venture capital, 11% with mixed teams, and only 6% of the deals, which is crazy because we actually have higher returns. And our next panel coming on shortly after this keynote is going to help explore that, and my guests are going to bring you deeper into their different geographies as to what that research means in their particular geography. But let's stick to it here. Let's give you more facts and figures for all of those investors and just founders out there. You need to know this stuff. The research shows that women entrepreneurs, we have a higher return on investment. So let's look at these different things of research. I told you about Boston Consulting Group. But let's look, you say, oh, and that's kind of a general survey. People could be giving their feelings as to, how they're going to invest moving forward and so on and so forth. But let's look at real hard, cold facts. First Round Capital in the US actually did this exercise 2 3 years ago, where they took a look back. They looked at their first 10 years of their fund, and they looked at the returns of the companies that they had invested in. And what they found, they were surprised to find this. They didn't expect it. But what they found is that the companies with a female founder actually had 63% higher return on investment than those without, all male founding teams. 63% higher return on investment. Now, Kaufman has also said that women-led tech companies actually have a 35% higher return on investment, 12% higher revenue than all male tech companies. Okay, guys, so if you're an investor, this doesn't make sense, does it? There's a huge opportunity here that we're not seizing. And I think what's important here is to show you this picture here on the right-hand side. All of this is happening despite the fact, so women entrepreneurs are giving you higher returns on investment and higher revenue, despite the fact that they raise 1/3 of the capital that the men raise. I mean, okay, so I'm going to roll my eyes and say, right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? So the 1 million InvestHers movement is about bringing together all the stakeholders in the funding ecosystem. And that means you, and it means everybody in the audience today, not just investors. And let me show you how. I decided to create this movement earlier this year, and I had the extreme honor of being invited to a private lunch with Fumzila, the head of UN Women Worldwide, and the many great distinguished actors to come to a very small lunch with President Macron of France. And we were preparing the Generation Equality Forum that was due to happen this year, and that's happening next year. But basically, I made the commitment to him, and I presented my ideas as to how he, as President of France, should increase access to funding for women entrepreneurs. But not just that. I was asked to bring ideas to the table about how can we increase women's economic empowerment and more access to funding on a global level. And so he, as one of the G7 leaders, was taking notes from us and from me as to what we need to do to change the level playing field. So our 1 million InvestHers movement is something I presented to him officially, said, this is what we at Global InvestHer are doing, and we need your support. And it is linking into the two Sustainable Development Goals of gender equality and 5 and number 8, decent work and economic growth. So now let's get to the heart of this. What is an InvestHer? An InvestHer, during my talk, during my TEDx talk, you can go and have a look. If you go on the website, you can see it. During my TEDx talk in 2015, I shared that the definition, the dictionary definition of an investor is somebody who puts their time, their money, their resources into a worthwhile product or project and expects a positive result. I went, So if it's not just money, how could we extend that definition? So I decided to create the term InvestHer. Even though I created the name of the company many years ago, I wanted to make it broader than just us and say that an InvestHer is, first of all, the woman entrepreneur who invests her time, money, and energy and resources into creating a product or service to serve a certain part of the population. But it's also you and me. An InvestHer is someone like you and me who gives time, money, resources, mentoring to help promote and help women entrepreneurs get funded. And that means you. So how can you do this? And let me just show you what this is. So for me, I think we are a triangle all together in this ecosystem. With the women entrepreneurs, we're building the change. Investors like you, so those are the funders, not just angels and VC, private equity. They are the banks, you're the government entities, you are the crowdfunding websites, etc. All of those different sources of funding, you're the investors and you fund this change. Okay, so you're an investor who's funding the change, but you're also giving advice and access to networks, you see, so it's broader. And then the partners like Arctic15, like Jan and his whole team that I'm so honored to be partnering with during this online summit. Partners, if you are an accelerator, if you support startups in any way, if you are a corporate, if you are a mentor, if you're an individual and you just want to help and you want to just spread the word, you can become an InvestHer. So everybody can become an InvestHer. So let's take a look at our first our very first partners for 1 million investors. As you can see, we have Arctic15, we have quite a few venture funds, and I'm so honored to have some of them speaking on our panel just coming on after me. So we will be with Anya from Vule Capital and Sarah from Beyond the Billion, but we want more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. And there we see Arctic15. When I went to speak to Jan about my 1 million investors movement, he got it immediately. And I said to him, Jan, I hope when you're organizing Arctic15, you're not just going to have certain sections for women entrepreneurs or for diversity. And he says, oh, no, I'm embedding diversity throughout the whole event. And I said, you're my man, we got to work together. And so that's where the 1 million investors track came about. So we're launching the commitment tracker today, and we actually kicked it off yesterday. But if you didn't get a chance to see my short launch session, I'm telling you about you now. We're launching the commitment tracker, so you can become an investor today. So if you are an investor listening in to me now, go and click onto the link. You can see it here, 1 million investors. If you don't know the link, just go to our website. You're going to find it. Click on investors and you'll find the link. If you're an investor, please sign up. Share if you want to, if you are planning on investing money into female founders, share in the commitment tracker. Let me show you now. I want to show how this is open to everybody. So when you sign up onto the commitment tracker, we're excited about this. We want to make sure that everybody here can make a commitment toward 1 million investors. Everybody can get involved. And Jan and I really, really encourage you to do that. So please go and sign up, and you can make your commitment public or not. So if you want it private, that's fine. And it can be shared in the general list of things. But by tomorrow, I have a short session and I want to be able to share with you, here's where we are. These are all the commitments we got from Arctic15. So please sign up. We will share the links, and I'll get Jan's team to share the links out in emails and so on to you as well. So look and see how you can get involved. So you can make a financial commitment. That's at the top. Yes, you can. But you can sponsor some of our events. So that's all the money side. You can be part of a Women Angel Syndicate. And Shama is going to tell you more about that in the sessions now. And you will have heard from other of the women syndicates throughout yesterday and over the next 2 days. But if you're an investor, you can also do office hours. You can give your advice, pitch advice. You can do webinars with me. But, you can be a guest on the podcast if you're a part of the ecosystem. You as a consumer, you can promote this movement. You can promote women entrepreneurs. You can promote them in the press. You can buy their products, or you can just share on the social media. You can mentor women entrepreneurs. See, you can give your time. You can promote. You can give money. You can become a volunteer at one of our events as well. And you can help spread the word as a 1 million investor ambassador. So as you can see, and that spreading the word could be if you're part of the press and you're listening in now, interview me, not because of my glory. This is not what it's about. It's we want to get momentum behind this event, behind this movement, and really make a difference. So I hope you will join me in becoming an InvestHer. I hope it's clear as to what we are doing, the why, and how you can get involved. So join the commitment tracker. Please go and check it out. Here is the link. If you don't remember the link, we will put it now. Let me just share it quickly in the chat box so I can share it. And 1 second. Here we are. And we are ready to rock and roll. So off you go. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to joining you now in the next panel.